Tell me a little bit about polarity and phase and that 180 switch on the back of the amp.
Okay, so that people used to call that polarity, but it's actually not. Back in the day, you would see it would be labeled, or rather, be labeled phase, and it's a 0 to 180 switch. Well, it's not a phase control at all. It's a polarity switch. It's either 0 or 180. And so what does the polarity switch do? It literally reverses the entire polarity of the electrical signal being sent to the subwoofer as if you had swapped the speaker wires. And we do have it in our subwoofer menu for very isolated reasons. The one that springs to mind the most is there are some brands of loudspeakers that are built with what we call reverse acoustic polarity. A couple of European brands spring to mind. And most loudspeakers are built with what we call positive acoustic polarity. And if you put a signal on the woofer, it pushes out. If you put a signal on the woofer, some of these are built quote unquote backwards. They have negative acoustic polarity. They sound exactly the same, but if you try and integrate a subwoofer with them, the subwoofer is literally 180 degrees out of phase with the loudspeakers. That creates all sorts of integration problems that wouldn't otherwise exist. And people will come to us and say, hey, I can't integrate your subwoofer with my speakers. It sounds horrible. There's like cancellation over the bass ranges. What's going on here? And I say, well, what brand and model are you running? And they tell me, and there's a little red flag goes off in my head. And I say, let's do a quick test with a battery on the back of your speakers. Touch a 9-volt battery to the terminals, positive to positive, negative to negative. What direction does the woofer move? Well, it pulls in. Okay, your speakers are built with negative acoustic polarity. Flip the polarity switch on the subwoofer to negative. Boom, now it's in phase with the speakers, and everything's right with the world. So that's really the only application for the polarity switch. And it works beautifully when you need it. Most of the time, you want to leave it set to 0, which is, again, positive acoustic polarity. Now, the phase control is a totally different animal. We do have a true phase control that's frequency dependent. And what that does, it delays the signal being processed through the amplifier. And we have a very granular control. It's 1 hertz increments. So you can literally alter the signal being processed through the amplifier with the phase control 1 hertz at a time. So you've got 0 to 180 in 1 hertz increments. And what's the benefit of that? There are times when you want to delay the signal being processed through the subwoofer, so it can integrate with loudspeakers if they're placed in different parts of the room and they're reaching you at different times. And say, well, wouldn't it be convenient if I could delay the signal a little bit being processed through the subwoofer? And that's essentially how the phase control works. It is frequency dependent, but it is sort of an all-pass filter, and it has a wide operating bandwidth. So that's very different than a polarity switch, and I wanted to make the distinction between the two.